Astropanochos. Hey astro-goofballs. Ready for another round of space shenanigans? Today's video it's an experimental podcast where you can learn everything you wanted to know about Proxisky's UMI mounts and strain wave mounts in general. The audio is AI generated, so you'd be real astro-goofballs if you believe everything without cross-checking and validating it with other sources.
Okay, so get this. Listener is thinking about diving into the world of harmonic drive telescope mounts.
Okay.
Particularly the UMI 17 series.
All right.
And they've sent us a bunch of forum discussions, product descriptions,
Oh, yeah.
even video reviews.
Wow.
Really want to know what makes these mounts tick, especially the UMI 17.
Yeah.
And honestly, after skimming through all this, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's like the harmonic drive is causing a real stir in the astronomy world right now. And you want to know if the hype is real or not.
Exactly. So let's embark on this deep dive together, shall we?
Let's do it.
First things first.
Okay.
For those just joining the Star Party, what exactly is a harmonic drive mount and why is everyone making such a fuss about them?
So imagine this. You're on a really rickety train trying to write something, and your pen keeps on jumping across the page.
There.
That's a traditional mount with its gears. Now picture a pen gliding effortlessly across the paper, producing these beautifully smooth lines, and that is the magic of a harmonic drive.
Ooh.
They use a special gear system that's incredibly smooth and precise.
I like the sound of that.
Which is a dream come true for astrophotography.
No more shaky star trails, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of those dots and dashes in the sky, we're talking crisp, clear images of distant galaxies. Sign me up.
Exactly. Plus, they're lighter. They're way less finicky about balance than traditional mounts.
Even better.
You often don't even need counterweights.
That's a game changer, especially if you're lugging your gear around.
Totally.
Speaking of which, listener has zeroed in on the UMI 17 series.
Okay.
But, and maybe it's just me, UMI's branding is a bit of a cosmic puzzle.
Yeah.
Meow Astro. Proxisky. It's like they're playing a game of intergalactic identity crisis.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky. It can make digging up information on them a little bit like navigating an asteroid field.
Right.
And their direct-to-consumer model, mainly through Discord and their website, adds another layer of intrigue.
It's like they're the indie band of the telescope mount world.
Yeah.
Going straight to their fans, cutting out the middleman. You could score a deal that way, but what about warranties? Repairs? Are we looking at a black hole of customer service?
It's a valid concern, but from what we're seeing in those forums you shared, UMI's been surprisingly responsive on Discord.
Oh, really?
Some users are getting answers within minutes.
Wow.
But let's get down to brass tacks.
Wow. Let's get down to it.
How does the UMI 17 actually perform?
Right. Let's see if it lives up to the hype.
Okay.
One Cloudy Nights user swapped out their heavily modded EQ6.
Okay.
It's a very well-respected mount.
Yes.
For UMI 17R. And was blown away even with a less than perfect polar alignment.
Wow.
They were getting better performance.
That's fascinating. It suggests that maybe UMI mounts are capable of punching above their weight class, delivering these really impressive results, even with a little user error.
Yeah, for sure.
That user specifically mentioned achieving 0.5 arcseconds total RMS, which is remarkable.
That's like hitting a bullseye on a moving target while blindfolded. This thing must be seriously good.
It seems like...
And it seems like their support isn't just fast, it's actually helpful.
Right.
Another user found the setup instructions refreshingly straightforward.
Good to know.
Now about this UMI 17 Lite, it's smaller and more portable, right?
Exactly. It even has an Alt-Az base.
Okay.
Making it great for visual astronomy.
Nice.
And here's the kicker. It costs the same as the UMI 17.
So you're telling me I can get more features for the same price?
Pretty much.
Omi, you're spoiling us.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away, let's delve into a comprehensive review of the UMI 17 Lite from Heavenly Fox on Cloudy Nights.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, it is a bit of a leap of faith going with a newer company.
It's like choosing the path less traveled, potentially rewarding, but you might need to navigate a few unexpected twists and turns along the way.
Precisely. And while early adopters seem happy with UMI's products and their support, there are always questions about long-term support, like will they be around to honor warranties, provide spare parts down the line?
Especially for something as crucial as a telescope mount. It's not like a cheap phone charger that you can just easily replace.
Exactly.
You're trusting them with your precious astrophotography setup.
Exactly. And that's where those established brands like your ZWO and iOptron, with their dealer networks, their service centers, They offer that peace of mind that maybe a smaller company might not be able to match, at least not yet.
It's a trade-off, really.
Yeah.
Potentially saving some money up front versus that reassurance of a well-established support system.
Right.
But hey, maybe that's part of the allure, right?
Yeah.
Venturing into uncharted territory with a company like UMI.
Sure.
They're pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
And their latest release, the servo-driven UMI 17R, is a perfect example.
Okay.
Speaking of the UMI 17R, I'm curious about this whole stepper motor versus servo motor thing.
Okay.
Is it just a case of like newer is always better?
That's a great question, and it gets to the heart of how these mounts achieve such incredible precision. Think of it like this. A stepper motor is like a car with a manual transmission.
Go ahead.
Moving in distinct steps.
Okay.
A servo motor, on the other hand, is like an automatic transmission.
Got it.
Smoother and more continuous in its movements.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the servo motors in the UMI 17R, we're talking about like a significantly smoother ride for astrophotography, especially with longer exposures?
Theoretically, yes. Servos can adjust their position more finely and react to feedback more quickly.
Okay.
Which leads to more accurate tracking.
Yeah.
However, they are typically more complex and potentially more expensive than stepper motors.
Right. It's always a balancing act, isn't it?
Always.
Striving for the best possible performance while keeping things affordable.
Right.
But since the UMI 17R is so new, I guess we'll need more real-world data to see how it truly stacks up against the competition.
Absolutely. And speaking of real-world experiences, we came across an intriguing post on the astronomy.de forum. A user shared their experience with the UMI 17R, specifically how well it handled their 8-inch Newtonian telescope.
Nice.
They were impressed by its lightweight design and reported achieving excellent guiding results even with, you guessed it, a less than perfect polar alignment.
It's like UMI has this like built-in forgiveness.
Yeah.
For, us mere mortals who haven't quite mastered the art of perfect polar alignment.
Right.
Maybe they should market it as the forgiving mount.
The forgiving mount. There you go.
There you go. Trademark.
But in all seriousness, it does highlight the remarkable capabilities of harmonic drive technology and UMI's ability to really harness that potential.
For sure.
Now, before we get too far off course here, let's swing back to the UMI 17 Lite and those kind of unique design choices that we were discussing.
Right.
I'm particularly curious about the lack of a hand controller
and
the inability to move the axes without tracking enabled.
Yeah, I was scratching my head a bit about those too.
It's definitely a departure from traditional mounts.
It is.
It seems like UMI is really streamlining their design, almost forcing you into a very specific workflow.
Interesting.
Which in this case is astrophotography.
Okay.
So it's like trading in your Swiss Army knife for a high-end chef's knife.
Got it.
Sure, it can't do everything, but for very specific tasks, it's in a league of its own.
It's interesting. It's a really good analogy.
And for astrophotography, that need for a hand controller is becoming less and less common.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of astrophotographers much prefer the control and the automation that software provides.
Right.
As for moving the axes without tracking, that's a deliberate safety feature to prevent accidental damage.
So it's less about limiting the user and more about ensuring the safety and precision of the equipment.
Exactly.
I can get behind that for sure.
Yep.
Speaking of which, for such a compact mount, the UMI 17 Lite has pretty impressive payload capacity.
It does, up to 10 kilograms without counterweights.
Why?
And 15 kilograms with them. UMI seems to have found a sweet spot in terms of portability, affordability, and capability.
Yeah, it's like the tiny house of telescope mounts.
There you go.
Small but mighty.
Exactly.
But we've been so focused on the UMI 17 Lite, we haven't even touched on the concerns about UMI's direct-to-consumer approach, especially here in the U.S.
Right?
No physical dealers could be a deal breaker for some people.
For sure. And while their Discord seems like this buzzing hive of activity and support, there's something to be said for the comfort of having a local point of contact for repairs or warranty issues.
Oh, absolutely. It's like that feeling of relief when you realize you could just pop into a store down the street instead of having to navigate international shipping and customer service calls and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Not everyone is comfortable with doing all their support online.
Right.
Especially when you're dealing with something as important as telescope mount.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, and let's not forget potential language barriers.
That's
While UMI's representatives seem fluent in English on their Discord, there's always the possibility of miscommunication or delays when you're dealing with these complex technical issues across different time zones.
Yeah, especially if things go sideways and you need to send your mount back for repair.
Exactly.
That could turn into a logistical and financial headache.
It's a risk versus reward scenario. You've got potentially great prices,
right,
innovative products,
yeah,
but then you have these uncertainties of a newer company,
right,
less established support network.
It's like that intriguing new restaurant down the street.
Okay.
The food might be amazing,
yeah,
but you're not quite sure if it's going to become your new go-to spot or if it'll be gone in a year.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, UMI is not slowing down.
No, they are not.
They've released the UMI 17 Lite and the servo-driven UMI 17R in quick succession.
Yeah.
And now they're shaking things up again with their new line of mounts called Ragdoll.
Ragdoll, okay.
It's clear that UMI is aiming to, disrupt the market. They're not content with just offering a few niche products. They want to compete at every level.
Yeah, it seems that way.
And their Ragdoll 20 has got people talking, and for good reason.
What's that?
20-kilogram payload capacity without counterweights for under $2,000.
Wow.
That's practically unheard of. It seems like UMI is on a mission to make high-quality mounts accessible to everyone.
They're like the Robin Hood of the astrophotography world.
I love it.
Taking from the high-priced and giving to the budget-conscious.
Right.
But price isn't everything.
No.
What's remarkable about UMI is their commitment to engaging with their customers, their active presence on Discord.
Yeah, for sure.
Their responsiveness to feedback.
It's huge.
It's something you don't always see, even from the established brands.
It's refreshing, isn't it? It feels like they're building a community, not just selling products.
Exactly. And that sense of community can be so valuable.
Oh, for sure.
Especially in a niche hobby like astrophotography.
Yeah, it's about sharing the journey, learning from each other, celebrating the successes, and the inevitable, sometimes comical, failures along the way.
Totally.
Speaking of which, let's dive into some specific user experiences from those sources you've shared.
That sounds good.
One Cloudy Nights user, remember the one who replaced their heavily modded EQ secs with a UMI 17R?
Yeah?
They achieved a remarkable total RMS of 0.5 arc seconds.
Wow.
That's seriously impressive.
That really speaks volumes about the potential of the UMI 17R, especially for those astrophotographers seeking that top-notch tracking performance without the bulk and weight of some of those more traditional mounts.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And then there was that other Cloudy Nights user who was just over the moon about the UMI 17 Lite's ease of setup.
Right.
And just the UMI support team's responsiveness.
Yeah.
Getting answers on Discord within minutes.
It's great.
Talk about personalized service.
It's heartwarming to see a company, especially a newer one, truly prioritize customer support.
It's huge.
It builds trust, it builds loyalty. Yeah. Which is so invaluable in today's market.
Absolutely. It's like finding a mechanic who not only fixes your car,
right,
but then also patiently explains what went wrong and how to avoid it in the future.
Exactly. Exactly.
Speaking of foundations, let's take a moment to appreciate the game-changing nature of Harmonic drive mounts.
Okay.
You know, their smoother tracking, lighter weight, their tolerance for imbalance.
Yeah.
It has just revolutionized astrophotography for a lot of people.
It's like the difference between navigating by the stars and using a GPS.
Okay.
They'll both get you there.
Yeah.
But one is undoubtedly more efficient and user-friendly.
Right. Okay. Last question before we move on to the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
UMI disruptors or just a flash in the pan? What are your thoughts?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
They've certainly shaken things up.
They have.
But their long-term success hinges on a lot of factors.
For sure.
Can they maintain this momentum?
Right.
Can they scale their operations? Can they navigate the challenges of what is a very rapidly evolving market?
Only time will tell, but it's going to be a fascinating journey to watch.
For sure.
And on that note, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And come back for the thrilling conclusion of our UMI deep dive. All right, so we're back and ready to dive back into this.
Yeah, I'll do it.
We've explored the ins and outs of these UMI 17 series mounts.
We have.
From those super smooth harmonic drives to the great but not perfect user experiences.
Right.
It seems like UMI is onto something special.
They do.
But will they be the next big thing in the world of astrophotography? Or are they just a supernova burning bright for a short time before fading away?
It really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's like watching a rocket launch, exhilarating,
right,
full of promise.
Yeah.
But will it reach orbit and beyond, or will it kind of fall back down to Earth?
Exactly. And their direct-to-consumer approach, their rapid innovation, it's exciting, but also makes you wonder, like, can they keep this up?
It's a high-stakes gamble for sure.
Yeah.
On the one hand, their success suggests that there's a real hunger for what they're offering. Top-notch performance, user-friendly features, and prices that, frankly, won't break the bank.
Right.
But can they scale up their operations?
Right.
Can they build that truly global support network?
Yeah.
And keep pace with the ever-changing, demands of astrophotography?
Yeah. And let's not forget the competition.
That's right.
The ZWOs.
Yeah.
The iOptrons of the world. They're not just going to sit back and watch.
They've got experience. They've got the resources. They've got the networks.
Right.
So can UMI really carve out a lasting place for themselves in this, kind of fiercely competitive landscape?
It's almost like a cosmic dance, It
is.
All these companies circling each other.
Yep.
Pushing the boundaries of technology and affordability.
It's a great time to be an astrophotographer.
It is. It's a very exciting time.
It is.
And what stands out to me, and this comes through in all these forum discussions you've shared,
Yeah.
is just UMI's genuine connection with their customer base.
It's true.
That personal touch, the willingness to listen, the willingness to adapt. I mean, that's something special.
It really is. It's like they've created a space for shared passion.
Right.
And knowledge, and not just transactions.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's like that feeling of discovering a hidden gem of a restaurant.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The food is amazing.
Yeah.
Service is personal.
Right.
But then it's like, okay, can they keep that same charm when they're booked solid every night?
Yeah. Only time will tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
But here's a final thought to ponder.
Okay.
What if UMI's success inspires a whole new wave of astronomy companies?
Oh, okay.
Companies that prioritize innovation, affordability,
yeah,
and this kind of direct engagement with their communities.
Right.
Right. That would be a game changer for amateur astronomy.
It would. It really would.
Yeah.
It'd be like the democratization of the cosmos.
There you go.
Suddenly, the tools to explore the universe aren't just for the privileged few. They're for everyone.
That's right.
It's
a really exciting thought.
It is.
And it speaks to the power of a company like UMI to potentially shift the entire industry.
Totally.
Whether they become, a legendary name or just a footnote in the history of astrophotography, their impact is undeniable.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
And on that note, dear listener,
yes,
we leave you with a universe of possibilities to consider.
That's right.
Do some more digging, see what other users are saying, maybe even try out a UMI mount yourself.
Why not?
Right.
See what the fuss is about.
Exactly. And let us know what you think. Until next time.
Clear skies.
Clear skies and happy stargazing.